Hello friends and welcome to my channel. I thought it would be fun today to do like a whole bakery theme. I have a couple different plates we'll be using. So right now for the base color, I have a mix of Candy Mayo 938 and New Color 997, and I've just used a sponge to do so. So I left this one blank so that I can show you what I'm doing. So instead of painting the color on, I'm just using the sponge for both. So I was just going back and forth between colors till I get it the way I want. And I just wanted the look of the sponge. It looks like a rough texture, which is fine for what I'm wanting to do. So I'll continue to tap this on until I get it the way I want. And then I'm going to take my clear coat polish just to kind of smooth it. It'll still have that textured look, but it'll smooth it a little bit. So I'll be right back. Okay, so while that dries, let's pick up some images. So I'm going to start with this plate from Maniology M630. This is one of their newer plates. So it's got lots of fun things on here, but today, like I said, we'll do the bakery theme. Now, I think I'm going to start with this image first. So I have a feeling you may be tired of seeing acorn. So I figured today, let's go to Maniology's Boba B330. I figured that'll probably be dark enough for the outline. Actually turn the plate so I'm not cleaning off as much. Okay, and we're going to come back to this plate in a little bit. And the reason I do typically use acorn is because it is a really good outline tone because it's not like black, but it's not like super brown. So that's why I usually go with it, but there's definitely a difference between the two. I feel like that's not picking up accurately. Sometimes I have to move my hand to make it show up. Okay, so actually I need that plate back. I'm gonna show you something. So as you can see here, it does have a bakery, but it's little. And I'm using this image, which to me don't make a lot of sense to me because this is so tiny and that's large. So I've decided I'm gonna pull in this other plate. So we are going to, it's a Pretty Fingers by Robin plate. It was like Animal Shops. And we are going to use this image here. It has a bakery. It's really cute. Got a little rabbit with it. Now, last time I used this plate, I had to work with it a few times because the images are fine. But I was turn it this way to get it to pick up, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let me go ahead and turn this one as well. If not, I may have to pull in my sticky stamping polish, but we'll see how it does. Also, I do leave my camera zoomed in for you. I picked it up. Let me see let me look and see if it missed. No, it did pretty good. I can work with it. But I'll leave it zoomed in. That way you can see the details more. But if you guys don't like being this zoomed in, please just let me know in the comments and we can zoom it out. So I'll tell you real quick, I feel like I'm gonna leave it. I can work with it, at least picked up everything. Um, it's just not quite as opaque, probably because of the fine lines. Is like this. Let me put that out the way. But I can still see them enough to work with it. Okay, we're going to start with this image, and I'm first going to Candy Mayo 951, and I'm just going to go through and color in some of these bakery items. Also, I do realize that I do longer videos, but if I do super short videos, then you will miss out on like little details and things that I do. And that's why they are longer. And I realize that a lot of people don't prefer long videos. They like the short ones. And I do apologize for that. I've tried to find a good balance because I do pause and it's still the even pausing it still takes time because if I did not pause, you'd really be here a long time and I've really tried to be like I know some like to watch and some don't. So I really try to find a balance, but it is hard. So I'm gonna finish this one and I'll pause right here. Now I'm going to Candy Mayo 941. Also, my videos to me are more than just about the nail art. It's also to give, you know, something for you guys to watch. I don't know. For me, like I've mentioned before, YouTube is my basically my TV. And so I always get disappointed when I don't have anything left to watch. So I do like to include enough to where I feel like you're getting enough as much, as much as I can for you to at least have something to watch. I'm thinking if I'm going to go ahead and switch, I may do that. Okay, so now we have Candy Mayo 952. So after this one, I'll go ahead and pause for you and I'll be back. So let me show you real quick on this last one. I'm going to go ahead, finish these off. You don't have to tap always. It depends. Sometimes I can just go like that. It just kind of depends on what I feel like. So I think I'm going to pull in Paparazzi Better Him Up for basically the outline of the shelf thing. Display, excuse me. Couldn't think of what it was called. Again, I won't bore you with this whole thing either. Just kind of show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to do that whole entire thing except for where the breads are and be back. Okay, so I'm taking this as being a window display, of course. So I'm going to Candy Mayo 932 and make it look like so. So anywhere there's a space, just gonna fill it in with it. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna look and see if I've missed anything. Trying to show you also that glimmer to make it, where I made it look like more like glass. Kind of frosted a bit. Okay, so for the bunny image, I have the same color that I used a while ago. We'll just do some of these. And then I'm jumping to the next color. Okay, I'll be back. And last bread color. So I'm going to finish them off with this one and be back. So I'll quickly mention for the bagels, it is easier for me to tap around to get that on there versus like trying to go in a circle with my brush. Okay, I'm now going back to my new color that I used on the base color for the basket. It's not wanting to get on that end right there. Okay. Okay, so for Mr. Bunny's bow tie, I'm going to paparazzi right away. I thought that would be a better color match against the yellow once I get to that. For his inner ear, I'm going to take Kenny Moyo 934. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the plant over here, and I'm going to use this green, and I will show you the color. Just trying to tap them on. Get on there. Okay, that color is Kenny Moyo 961. I'm also going to go ahead and do that table with one of the other colors I've already used. Okay, I'm going back to this color I used earlier. I got a bigger brush and we're going to use that for Mr. Bunny. So this color I can tell is going to want to be finicky with me here. So that tells me I'm going to have to kind of pack some on here. So I'll get him completed and be back. Okay, so I've let him sit for a minute and I'm now going to back to my yellow so we can color in the bakery. So this one I'll have to switch back and forth between my large brush and my tiny brush. Detail brush, I guess is what I should call it. So I'll finish this and be back. Okay, and I'm in the middle of coloring in this little tray, and I'm just using my off-white for that. Okay, and same thing, back to my window color. Also going to do this section back here. Any bare spots are going to get colored in. Sorry I had to pause without telling you my dog started barking. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to go ahead and matte top coat. And I've been still using this one from Dollar Tree. I really like it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get this image placed on. May not all fit, but I'm going to try. And of course, this image is taller rather than wide, so it actually fits the whole nail. Um, and then the nails, of course, are tapered at the bottom, so you don't see any on that side, but you do up here. But that's another reason I wanted to kind of do a color behind that would kind of go with the theme to me. Okay, also I still have this one shiny and this one's matte, if you wanted to see the difference. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this one on as well. Trying to decide what all really can get on here. Okay, so the plant didn't make it, that's okay. I'm gonna clean off my stamper and then use it to kind of press down. Now I was thinking too, a couple things. If we wanted, I could lightly take some of that window color for his eyeglass area, but it needs to be done very lightly. Because I don't want to cover his eye up. And then the other thing, I'm going to take a little bit of just my clear coat and put it right up here. That's going to help with that wrinkling. It'll just kind of smooth that part out once it's dry. And I see a piece of his eyeglasses missing. That is I either didn't pick it up well enough or I somehow took it off when I was reverse stamping. So I do apologize for that. Okay, so I'm going to take this little tiny brush. I have Boba. I'm just going to at least try to attach it over here. I am not a freestyler. Okay. Let me attempt. I'm not good at this at all, guys. To at least somewhat make it look whole. I mean, it's not great, but it'll be better than nothing. Okay. Okay, now we're not going to leave it like this. I'm going to show it to you though. So the way we're going to fill in the rest of this is to go back to this plate and I am going to get each of these images. I'm going to start with this one. Still going to use Boba And again, this is another reason I chose the back color to kind of be the way it is because you could, of course, definitely reverse stamp this. But with the rest that I did, it would take you a very long time to do everything. Yes, it would be super cute, but if you don't have the time, I feel like this can still be cute with this base color and just applying these without reverse stamping. Of course, totally up to you if you wanted to or not. I thought it'd still give a little bit of a contrast of colors for the different breads. And I'm going to do this one on the pinky. Now, because these are so curved, I mentioned before, I typically do end up having to roll it to make it all fit on there. Another thing is I chose to put this image on the pinky because I feel like, see how cluttered this one is? I felt like it would be almost too much for the pinky as to where choosing this image on it made it to where you can see it. Does that make sense? Because this one you can see them since they're across the whole nail, like a bigger nail versus the smaller one. Again, you could still reverse stamp these if you wanted, but if you wanted to take the time to do so. And then last thing I'm going to do is we're going to get this image, Fresh Bakery. And we're going to make the other nail basically the accent nail. Again, you could reverse stamp these little pieces on here if you wanted, but it's not necessary to me. Now that one I can just press down because it's not going across the entire nail, so I didn't have to roll it. Okay, our little bakery mini is completed. And last time I looked, Robin still had that um, animal shop plate available last I looked. And Maniology also still had their bakery one. But again, it does have other things on there, and I'm gonna do something with that as well. But I thought it would be this was a good mixture of just stamped on versus reverse stamped. So we still got some of both. So it kind of helps it to me come together, and you still got the colors from the reverse stamping, but without all the time to do every single one of them. And again, I chose to do this bakery over the bakery that's on the Maniology plate just because it's more tiny. I just felt like this one was, since it's larger, would be better suited for it. Now, if you have short nails, only part of this image would, of course, fit, and that small bakery would be just fine, but also the Pretty Fingers by Robin plate also, let me pull it over here. It also has small ones of it. I chose the larger one to go with this. Or you could shrink them. I'm just terrible about wanting to shrink things. I just don't feel like it, to be honest, so I just go with whatever seems to fit the most. So thank you so very much for watching. As always, I greatly appreciate it. I will list the Maniology products I used in the description box and also the Pretty Fingers by Robin plate. And until the next one, have a blessed day, my friends. Bye!